Yes, people. Welcome back to another stream, man. How we doing? Big result last night, and me and Hugh are gonna chat about it a little bit more detail about what that means, what it means for the second leg, how we could potentially set up there over in Germany next week. And then later on today, we'll be doing the player ratings, all three of us on that one. So, yeah, if you're wondering when that is, it's going to be a little bit later on. But, yeah, we're going to speak about it, man. I'm looking forward to this. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, man. Already got 86 likes in a building, which is decent for given the time. So, big up yourself. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And if you want to help support the channel grow, you can become a YouTube channel member. Link is in the description. This is the first time I spoke to you, bro, about the game. I just realized, like, I know I've like texted you and that, but like, you know what I mean? In the flesh, this is the first time, bro. I mean, it was I said in the stream, I said on Twitter, I genuinely believe this. I think that was our best performance in Europe. I do. I know people talking about Real Madrid, people talking about PSG. I think this is better. I do. I just think it was a better performance. I think it was more controlled, even though we had less possession than Bayern. Owen Hargreaves said it on BT Sport last night. He said even though we had less possession of the ball than Bayern Munich, it felt like we was in control, and I completely agree. I thought we had control of the game against a very good Bayern Munich side. We limited them to very few chances. They're always going to have chances, Bayern Munich. You know what I mean? But we limited them to very few chances. And on another day, we could have won that game 4-5, maybe even 6-0. We had a few other chances that maybe probably should have scored. But I think, for me personally, I think that was our best performance in Europe.
I put up a very similar tweet, and it wasn't nabbed. It was genuine belief, like it was imperious. First of all, let me preface it by saying, if my Wi-Fi bugs a little bit, chat, just bear with me. I'm working on getting it sorted out, so it'll be fixed soon enough. But listen, as far as last night goes, the chat people in the chat saying I was buzzing on my review. I absolutely was, because it was no Champions League like, oh, David versus Goliath. We have no right to beat this team. We went out there and we were imperious, monstrous. We bullied a European giant. I mean, as a lot of you guys in the chat know, I do a lot of rival shows, the Big Six and other shows too. And I was told before this tie, it doesn't matter, how City play. Bayern have the heritage. Bayern have the prestige. You would have sworn that we were the team with 6 European trophies. We played like an absolute monster last night. We dominated them. We really, really dominated them. We forced a really good. Let's not beat around the bush. A really good Bayern Munich team. They're no pushovers. They just knocked out PSG. That's no easy thing to do. We know that from experience. We forced them to resort to long shots more often than not. You saw Sane shooting on sight. Every time he got the ball in the edge of our box, he just shot. Likewise with other players too. They just didn't know how to break us down. Our defense was so unbelievably solid. It was so solid. And this, what I'm going to say next, it's not coming from a position of salt. It's not coming from a position of dislike as to what's happened. But I don't think our defense would have been. Sorry, am I lagging out here again? It seems like it's breaking up.
No, that's
Um,
cool.
I don't think our defense would have been as solid as it was last night if you put a Cancelo into the team. I know he was playing for the other team, but I don't think we would have had that same solidity if Cancelo is. This back three we formed of Akanji, Diaz, and Ake, you don't break it down. Let me give you a mad stat here, bro. We haven't conceded more than one goal in any game, home, away, any competition, since the 19th of January. The 19th of January. This defense has come on leaps and bounds. It was a bit of a work in progress for a while. It really was. It was a bit of we're trying different combinations, we're trying different styles, back three, back four, blah, blah, blah. But we struck gold with this one now. They work together. They have pace. They have pace in that back three. So we can allow John Stones and Rodri to push higher up the pitch, get involved in build-up play, because we trust the pace of particularly Ake and Akanji. And Diaz is no slow coach either. It was just an all-round, like, we'll get into the attack too as well, but that's just my thoughts on the defense. But listen, last night, it would have put shockwaves throughout Europe, man. I saw Gabi Abonglahor on TalkSport saying he thinks City could win every game between now and the end of the season, and I'm not having that conversation yet because that's a big, big ask, but we look imperious, man. Anybody will fear Manchester City.
Well, I've said this before. I've said this last week. I'm not particularly talking about Champions League because I think Champions League's a different kettle of fish. But in the Premier League, I could see us winning every game to the end of the season now the way we're playing. I mean, I'm not saying we will, but I could see the way we play it. This is the best we've played in a long, long time. And the way we're playing, it's up there with some of the best City teams I believe Pep's ever had. No. Let me rephrase that. The best City performances Pep Guardiola has ever had. It's not the best team, in my opinion, he's ever had, but it's the best performances. It's some of the best performances we've ever had. We're getting such control of the game, and yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy beating Bayern Munich 3-0. I mean, I predicted 3-0 before the game, man, and I was in shock because I didn't think we'd beat them in that style. I always believed we would beat them. I always believed that we was going to score a couple goals, but to win 3-0 and beat them in the way that we did, it was a special night, and that for me was probably our best performance in the Champions League.
You know what, bro? On that, I think you're spot on. It's the style in which we did it. I said 3-1, and I said in my review video last night that if you told me we would have won in that fashion, I wouldn't have believed you, because I wouldn't have. I know that we have players that can take the game away from Bayern and we can score goals, bang, 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 the game's dead, that kind of thing. But if you would have told me we would have absolutely bullied Bayern Munich, I would have said that's crazy. Bayern Munich don't get bullied. Bayern Munich don't get bullied in the Champions League, and we did bully them. We made the likes of Upamecano and Pavard and these players look like absolute fools. They looked average/amateur at best. That Upamecano, I know he's meant to be a good player, but we made him look abysmal last night. He was shaky. He couldn't handle it. And our attackers picked up on this. Our attackers, if you like the phrase, they smelled blood. They realized this guy he's not feeling it right now. So Haaland starts pressing up on him. Grealish starts pressing up on him. Bernardo starts pressing up on him, and the other defenders too. It was such a. In the preview, we said we're on our own patch. Make a statement, stamp of authority. We did that in spades, man. Absolute spades.
Yeah, 100%. Big up Mohammed with a super chat, man. Help us support the channel. He says, still nervous for the second leg, PTSD from last year. Well, this is kind of what I wanted to get onto. I wanted to get onto the sort of the second leg, because if you look at our, I'm going to get Man City's fixtures up, right? Because we're obviously, everyone knows we're in a interesting position with our fixtures right now, playing every 3 days, which I like. I'm not going to complain about it, but obviously it can be tough. Okay, so let's have a look at the fixtures. Boom, here we go. So we got Leicester coming up at the weekend. No messing about, yeah. You got to go ham for this game, yeah, because obviously Arsenal play West Ham the day after. Arsenal drew last weekend. You want to be putting the pressure back onto Arsenal, right? So you got to win that game, ham. Bayern Munich Wednesday, so you got a few days off. It's not a terrible situation. It's not like you're playing Saturday, Tuesday. You've got to have a few days off. Is there any world, bro, that you see rotation Bayern Munich next week? Any rotation at all? Do you see mad rotation? Do you see any rotation, or do you see no rotation? A full strength squad again? Because I was speaking about this in the car with Freddie on the way home. 3-0's a high lead, but you are playing Bayern Munich, man. You are playing Bayern Munich. Like, could you throw in maybe Laporte for Ake? Would that? That's not going to. Surely that's not going to see you get knocked out. Surely that's not going to see you concede 3 goals, because he's played a lot of football. Could you maybe see Alvarez instead of Haaland? Surely again, you're not going to lose 3-0 because you put that in. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if there's a potential that you could just rest 1 or 2, or do you reckon, nah, just full send it?
It's a really, really tough one to call, isn't it? Because whilst 3-0 is a really healthy lead, if they get 1 early doors, it's game on. And I get a little bit shaky. You know, you could see in their ground, fans get up for it. Back in the game, the doors open that little bit for them again. You could see them start to claw their way back in. So there's a part of me thinks, don't rest, full send the exact same team, try get a goal or 2, and then at that point, I think you can start to bring on the cavalry to bring off players, kind of thing. I could definitely see though from the start. I could see Laporte, I could see Mahrez come in. That may be the height of it. That may be the height of it as far as starting 11 goes. But I think Pep, if I was him, I'd say put out as close to, if not the exact same team. Try and get an early goal and just kill the tie at that stage. And then at halftime, if you get a first half goal, go 1-0 up for halftime. Bring on the cavalry, then see it out. We ain't conceding 4. We ain't conceding 4 or 5. I genuinely don't believe that. But listen, beat this Leicester team on Saturday. Go ham for that. No messing about there. Finish the Bayern tie off in whatever way you need to do so. And then, with all due respect to Sheffield United, I think that's a game where you don't take the foot off the gas, but you can definitely take it off the accelerator a little bit. You're not going to need to put in the same effort to beat Sheffield United as you are to beat Bayern Munich away. That's just fact of the matter, unfortunately. So I think these next 2 games, do what needs be must kind of thing. And then the Sheffield United game, you can then start to put your jigsaw together whatever way you want.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Big up Darcy with a super chat. Says all the City players posting on social media after the game saying it's only half time or halfway in the tie. Definitely seems like the boys have learned from the Madrid game and are staying hungry for the second leg. Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I said before the game yesterday. Said it against Real Madrid last year. Can't get too giddy, man. Which is why I wouldn't rotate much, if at all, against Bayern in that second leg, man. Because I respect what Bayern Munich can do. And as you said, they could get an early goal. They could quite easily score 2 quick goals in the matter of 5 minutes. Yeah. Now, Musiala caused us a few issues yesterday. I thought Sane was actually really good yesterday. Thought maybe some of his finishing let him down, but his overall game was good. They can score 2 or 3 quick goals, rapid. So go pretty strong. Let's learn from our mistakes against Real Madrid last season, and let's just get that game won. If you can get to half time in the second leg, 0-0. Then maybe you can look at something. Yeah, I mean, you can make 1 or 2 changes, but do we really need to rotate? That's another question. Do we really need to rotate against Bayern Munich in the second leg? Because you are playing Sheffield United at Wembley. You know what I mean? And that's a game that will dominate the ball. And they've not got McAtee, they've not got Tommy Doyle. 2 important players for them. So I don't think you need to. Maybe you don't need to rotate. Maybe you don't actually need to rotate against Bayern Munich. That's a question.
Maybe Kyle Walker is another one I could potentially see.
Yeah. Maybe just do that in it. Avoid the, fuck the inverted off and just say, look, we're going to do the. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you can still play the inverted. I don't know, but yeah, it's an interesting one. Big up Joel says, any word on Kevin's injury? Alvarez is mad underrated. Agree on Alvarez. Nothing on Kev, but I think he'll be fine, bro, to be honest with you. I think he'll be okay. But yeah, the fixtures are wild, man. The fixtures are wild, but you just got to go ham in every game, innit? You know what I mean? Like, Leicester, you got to go ham. Bayern, you got to go ham. But Bayern's one where you've got to attack the game, yeah, and go full strength. But after like half an hour, not half an hour, sorry, after half time, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, if it's still 0-0, then it's game over, really. You know what I mean? And then you can make a few changes. Sheffield United, I would look at maybe rotating 1 or 2 ahead of Arsenal. The good thing is here, I feel like we're getting quite lucky with the Wednesday games. We're getting Saturday, Wednesday, which is good. We're not getting Sunday, Tuesday. We're not getting Saturday, Tuesday. We're getting that extra day's rest. So you play Wednesday, you play Saturday, but then you play Wednesday. I feel that's quite good, man. So I feel like we're in a good position. Anthony says, are we rotating team against Leicester? 100% not, mate.
No.
100%. You've got to go for that game. You've got to treat Leicester like Bayern Munich. You do, because we have to win that. You've got to put the pressure back on Arsenal, man.
Well, you found over the years that the reason we have been able to put winning streaks together and go on these mad runs and see out competitions ruthlessly was because we treated everybody. We treated everybody, whether it was West Ham, whether it was Wolves, or whether it was Liverpool or Man United. We treated them all like Champions League finals. We're on a 9-game winning streak right now. And I was told after 3 or 4, City will fall off again. They've been too inconsistent this season. They'll collapse again. I'm going to keep it real. This is the most confident I've been that City won't collapse again this season. I think there is a reality to it. I'm not saying it will happen. I'd never expect it, but there's reality to the belief that City could win every single game between now and the end of the season if we keep on the exact same train line we're on right now, keep on the exact same momentum and imperialism that we're on right now. Anybody can get it. Absolutely any. I don't care if Real Madrid, Los Blancos, Galacticos 13 times. Anybody can get it from this Manchester City team. Pep needs to make sure he makes the right decisions week in, week out. If someone does desperately need a rest, him off, problem. If not, keep full sending him, and consistency is key.
100%. Big up Robo with the 2 says no rotation needed. Bernardo, you dominate the right side. I mean, we'll probably go into individual performances later on the player rating, so make sure you join us for that. But Bernardo Silva last night, I mean, Pep Guardiola, big call. Mahrez has been in great form, and Bernardo's not played that much football recently compared to some of the other players. However, it was 100% the correct move. I thought Alphonso Davies had an absolute stinker, really. I mean, I thought Bernardo Silva bullied him. He skinned him a number of times. And yes, Alphonso Davies managed to get back a couple of times. I think going forward, Bernardo Silva did quite well to nullify the threat of Alphonso Davies And I just thought he'd give Alphonso Davies. It was meant to be the other way around, wasn't it? It was, we're going to play Bernardo Silva because we're worried about Alphonso Davies. In the end, Alphonso Davies was worried about Bernardo Silva. A top performance from him. And yeah, you know, and like I said to you, I have to seriously question the scouts and sporting directors of football clubs around Europe when no one in the last 2 to 3 years has decided to pull the trigger on Bernardo Silva and spend that 60 to 80 million quid, whatever City were asking. And the reason that they didn't do that, I told you at the time, is because he doesn't get goals and doesn't get assists. His numbers for an attacking player are quite low, quite poor. But that's not his game, man. That's not Bernardo's game. Bernardo's game isn't to get goals and assists, man. That's not his game. So, yeah, I think it's bizarre how no clubs come in for him. And will any club come in for him in the summer? I mean, Barcelona won't. Barcelona not going to come in for him because they've got no cash. I don't see him at like a Real Madrid. I'd be disappointed if he went to Atletico Madrid for him personally. I wouldn't begrudge him a move, you know, because he clearly wants to move. But I'd be disappointed if he chooses to go to a team like that. And this is why I've said for a couple of weeks now, I have a suspicion that he could stay. I do. I have a feeling that, like, he come out, didn't he, in that interview, bro, and was like, yeah, I want Benfica, you know, I went 32, 33. It wouldn't surprise me if City just went, look, mate, no one wants you. You're on a poor wage relative to everyone else at the football club for you. I know he's on a sick wage, but you should be on probably double what he's on. Let us put you on a new contract. Let us up your wage. And then when you're 32, 33, whatever age you can put it in a contract. We'll put a clause in the contract to say when you're 32, 33, whatever, you can go to Benfica and it'll cost 25, 30 mil. You know, I genuinely don't see. I think there's a chance that he might stay. I do genuinely think there's a chance that he might stay this summer because I don't know who's going to bid for him.
It's not a normal situation when a player wants to leave a club. When a player wants to leave a club, it's usually simple work. We'll get him out. You know, someone will come in for him. We'll take an okay fee for him, and he's gone. That's the end of him. But after nights like last night, when he put in a performance like he did, and you saw the way he celebrated, you see the one where Haaland picked him up like a rag doll and just threw him around for a second after the third goal, and you see the passion Bernardo has for this club. I think he's really caught in two minds. I think he's one of these people that probably wakes up one day and goes, oh, I want to leave. I want to go home. It's too cold here. And then the next day he's like, nah, I fucking love it here. You know, I don't want to go. This is sick. I think that's the way it is with Bernardo. And yeah, that's it. That's a fully grown man, by the way. Look, he's just showing up like a child. No, I don't see any of those clubs you named coming in for him. I think there's definitely reality to Bernardo Silva signing a new contract with Manchester City. It's gone a bit quiet anyway on him wanting to leave. It's since before Christmas we haven't heard anything about him wanting to leave, and things have changed at the club. The club was in a much worse position back then when he was saying those kind of things. There was a lot of problems and playing style, election, that kind of thing. But since those charges, I hate to reference them again, but since they became a thing, we've turned the corner. We've really turned the corner, and the club has found its life again. It's found its feet again. And I think he'd be silly to throw in the towel on that right now. He could be a club legend. I'm not saying statue territory, but Bernardo Silva he's already a cult hero, but he could be a club legend if he stays for another 3, 4, 5 years, wins a few more Premier Leagues, maybe banks himself a Champions League or two. I think he'd be silly to throw in the towel on that. And I think he knows that himself, which is why he's not constantly banging on the door, like, get me out, get me out, get me out. I think he's in two minds. I get that. That's normal. He's a Mediterranean guy. There's probably a huge part of him and his girlfriend want to live back there in the sun. But he's also saying, listen, I'm part of a serious team here. Serious manager. The fans love me. We could dominate for the next 3, 4, 5 years on all fronts if we keep going the way we are.
And then go Benfica when you're 33, innit?
Listen, mate, go back to Benfica, your home club, get some sun on your back, have a few sangrias, do whatever you want as a Champions League winner, hopefully. A multiple-time Premier League winner, a few San Miguel's, or what's the one in Portugal? Superboc. Whatever you fancy, Bernardo, it's up to you. But go back a hero. Don't go back prematurely.
Big up Mohammed, man. He's a Bayern Munich fan. He says City were a better team. Well, I think City were a better team. I actually think that Bayern Munich played well, though. I think Bayern Munich played quite good in the game. They caused us a few issues. Leroy Sané, I thought, was really good. But ultimately, I think that our defence was just what's got us that sick result. And this is what I said in the preview, man. It's what I said in the preview. Look, I say it again. The reason why we have failed in the Champions League under Pep Guardiola is largely, other than the final of the Champions League where we lost 1-0, is largely due to our defence. We've conceded far too many goals in knockout football. The performance that our defence put in yesterday was nothing short of miraculous, unbelievable, stupendous, perfection. Ruben Diaz was unbelievable, an animal at the back. Akanji, after the first 15 minutes when he sorted his head out, was sick. Ake, mega. John Stones, incredible. Our defence was mint. You have to have a good defence in the Champions League. You know what I mean? And we got that 3-0. Last year, that probably would have been 3-2 Man City win.
Definitely.
Or 3-1. But we would have conceded a goal last year or the years before. We would have conceded. That's the difference. That's the difference, because now instead of going there with a 3-2 result or a 3-1, which puts it in anyone's, you go to the Allianz Arena with a 1-goal lead, it's very slim, right? You go with a 2-goal lead, they could still easily wipe that out. That's the difference. That's the prize of getting that defence right. You go to the Allianz with a cushion. You go to the Allianz, and if we don't qualify for the semis, it's a disaster. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm saying, listen, they don't deserve to come home. Don't bring them home to Manchester if they don't go through this tie. I know that sounds really harsh, but we're 3-0 up. We bullied the hell out of them. We're playing sick right now. If we don't go through to the semi-final, it's the most embarrassing exit of all of them so far. That's just fact. If we bottle this somehow, it's the most embarrassing of all the exits. I don't think we will. I think there's a very good chance we'll go out there and beat them with the way we're playing right now. But listen, you saw it last night, man. We did. We bullied them. We absolutely bullied them. And you're spot on about the defense. You need a massive defense. You need a solid defense and a consistent defense in the Champions League. A defense that's not put together just for the night. It's not the same defense it's not a defense that didn't play together in the last 2 weeks. You need a defense that know each other, understand each other. They've built a good relationship. They're working together, and that's exactly what we have. Those three soldiers, I want to call them, Ake, Diaz, and Akanji, they get each other. It just works. I couldn't believe it. Like I said before, Bayern Munich resorting to long shots. And they were kind of afraid to go too far forward because they were afraid of our counter-attack as well. For once, we were actually counter-attacking with pace. You saw Bernardo and Grealish causing them hella problems on either wing. It was huge, man. It was absolutely huge. I feel really good about this. And you're right. And I think it's that 3-0 is very different to 3-1. If we had a two-goal cushion, I'd feel very, very different about this. That extra goal and having not conceded, the fact that Bayern didn't score at all is a big psychological blow to them. They're saying we have to bring them back to the Allianz and score against them, which we couldn't do at all. We're Bayern Munich and we couldn't score at all. And now we have to find it.
The difference is, right, is because at 3-1, the game's so different. Because Bayern go into the game at the Allianz and go, win 2-0, and we'll take it to extra time. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then in their stadium, they're saying we fancy ourselves next time.
Exactly. They'll say, yeah, we can beat Manchester City 2-0. Now we have to score 3 and stop Manchester City scoring, which I think they won't do. I think we will score at least a single goal at the Allianz Arena. I think we'll score a goal, which means they have to score 4 just to take it to extra time. That's the power of the clean sheet, man. Seriously, it was absolutely huge. Big up to Henry, by the way, with the $2 super chat. He says, got to obviously put the ages on screen there. I mean, still very young, these players. Still very, very young. My mate just sent me a message actually and said, can you believe John Stones has won 4 Premier League titles? He's only 28. The record's 5, isn't it?
John Stones is an absolute Rolls Royce of a footballer. I don't throw that term around very often. I know people said it about Van Dijk and other players too. John Stones has everything. He has absolutely everything, and he deserves all his success. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue. He's going to play for us for another 5, 6, 7 years at least. Big up John Stones, man.
I just seen, it's no. Oh wait, it was you might know this. Dennis Irwin. Oh no, he's a fullback. Yeah, no centre backs ever won more than 5 Premier League titles, so he's gonna have a great chance of becoming the all-time like most Premier League titles for a centre back, man. No centre back has ever won more than 5. You got Wes Brown, John O'Shea, John Terry, Vidic, all on 5, but no centre backs ever won more than 5, man. So, oh no, Rio Ferdinand. Shit, I didn't see that there. Rio Ferdinand's won 6. Okay, so he's got 2 more to get joint with Rio Ferdinand as centre backs. But yeah, he's been mega. Big up,
You know what it is?
big up.
Unfortunately, people won't entertain the conversation. If Stones does 6 or 7, they still won't entertain the conversation that he's one of the best of all time. He plays for Man City. He's John Stones. Let's say he doesn't have that aura that those players do. When the fact of the matter is, he's as good as, if not better, a footballer than a lot of those centre halves in the conversation. In my opinion, he's a better footballer than John Terry. He's a better footballer than Nemanja Vidic. Ferdinand was a very good footballer, but if Stones matches him or does better than him on trophies, there's a big conversation to be had there. But people don't want to hear it, man. People, it falls on deaf ears.
No, I agree. Big up Harsh, man, with the super chat. Listen, bro, the way I deal with that is just fucking laugh at them, bro, and enjoy our success. Try not to, because they want you to get annoyed, bro. That's what they want you to get annoyed, innit? So try and just ignore it, bro, to be honest with you. And the stream, Dave, 5 says, boys need to stay sharp in Munich. They would hit us with everything in the second leg. Like Pep says, 1 step at a time. Come on, City. And that's from End the Stream, Dave. Big up, bro. I agree. Yeah, you got it 1 step at a time, 1 game at a time. We've got to stay locked in. Qed Ram with a 3 says, LB, if we win the treble, or the hedge watch along. Okay, yeah, no problem. I mean,
I'll join him. I'll go to LB's gaff. We'll get a load of beers in and watch over the hedge. If we win a treble, the party is over the hedge watch along.
Fairs. I mean, yeah, I'm gaming it. You know what I mean? That's a pretty easy request for me to do. Buzzing. Okay, well, there's a bit more of a review on the game. It deserved a little bit more of a review, and it doesn't stop there. 1 p.m. Make sure you join us, man. We've got the player rating stream, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for it. So make sure you join us. It's going to be a madness. Man City, 1 foot in the semi-final, man. Just go to Bayern Munich next week and don't shit the bed, and we should be in that semi-final. Real Madrid versus Chelsea tonight. That's going to be an interesting watch as well. Of course, Inter Milan won last night. You got a very, very interesting game. Napoli versus AC Milan. So that's going to be an interesting one tonight as well. I'm looking forward to the game, man. It's going to be good. Yeah, buzzing. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, we've got a super chat here actually before I go. When Lengan Sweet says, I love to see it. People saying that performance like Diaz was prime Ramos. I can see Bayern Munich scoring, but City reply the tie down in my opinion, says Lengan Sweet with the 5. Yeah, Diaz was mega, mate. I can't wait to speak about him on the player ratings at 1 o'clock, man. It's going to be sick.
I can't wait for the second leg, man. I really, really can't wait for the second leg. I'm going out to Munich. I'm going out to Germany for that game as well. It's going to be absolutely sick, and there'll be plenty of content made out there for you guys as well. So stay tuned for that. Notification bell.
You know what though, bro? I'm just excited for every game. I'm buzzing for Leicester now. Bring on Leicester City, mate, on Saturday. I'm ready. I'm ready for every single match. Do you know what I mean? We're in such a good position now. I'm buzzing. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Join us later on, 1 o'clock. Player ratings. It's going to be a madness. Guys, we'll see you in a bit.